I'm gonna go sell coffee to the community. We were close to a Starbucks.
I was so nervous.
Yeah.
I didn't know what to expect.
How did you learn how to make your coffees?
Marissa's.
You can literally learn how to do anything online.
That was us. But we've come this far.
Yeah.
We don't serve matcha nor chai.
Oh my God.
I said possibly. The best time is now because you should have started it before.
Okay, I love that. I love that. I love all the sounds. It never stops.
Never. I know.
It's all good. Let's start with the cheers again. Here we go. Cheers. Cheers. What's up, everyone? We're out here in Golden Hill today at the coffee drop with this plane flying over us. We're gonna let that pass first before we continue. Yeah. I'm here with Evan and Marissa, the owners and founders of the coffee drop over here. Started about a year ago. Started in, you said it was a teardrop trailer.
We were a teardrop
right?
camping trailer that we built out.
Very nice.
That we sold coffee out of to our local neighborhood here.
Yeah.
It was a dream we had for like over 6 years before we had ever even gotten married.
Right.
Because we're millennials and it's very challenging to like just go feet first. We knew we wanted to have like a cute little like coffee shop that served the community.
Okay.
But like getting there, like between like not doing anything to getting there is really challenging and it's very cost prohibitive.
Yeah.
So we finally brought it to fruition.
Okay. Well, before we get into that, we want to know you a little bit more about you two. Like kind of like where you came from, how you guys met, all of that stuff. So let's start with where are you guys from?
So we're from LA. Okay. So yeah, we've been living in LA and then that's where we had initially met, and we moved down to San Diego a few years ago.
Oh, really? Mm-hmm. What part of LA did you say?
San Fernando Valley.
San Fernando Valley.
San Fernando Valley. Okay. Did you both grow up there?
So I'm born and raised in LA.
Okay.
In the Valley, and then technically he is now Valley.
A Valley girl.
Valley girl.
Valley girl.
Yeah.
Oh, Valley
if
girl.
it wasn't obvious.
For 10 plus
Couldn't
years.
tell. Yeah. Okay. And so you moved here. You said 3 years? 3 years ago?
Yeah.
3 years
just
ago.
about.
And then what brought you to San Diego?
What brought us to San Diego was we had always enjoyed, like, when we would visit, we enjoyed, like, meeting, like, the locals in San Diego, and we enjoyed the environment. Obviously, it's beautiful over here. And then we were just like, if we were to live somewhere differently, San Diego's the place. Being Angelinos, we always saw San Diego as, like, our cousins, you know what I mean? Like, it's right there, you know what I mean? It's our cousins. It's like an extension of LA.
Yeah. How often would you come and visit San Diego then?
We would come probably like once a year or so.
Once a year? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any specific area in San Diego?
We usually, every time we would visit, we'd probably be somewhere around like Gaslamp or, or like Mission Bay, where a lot of people go.
Yeah.
Which is kind of funny because like as residents of San Diego now, it's the places that we don't typically float around as
Which is
often.
crazy,
It's funny,
right?
the tourism
because same thing with me when I would come and visit all the time. It would just, I'd go to like the major tourist areas, all that stuff. And now it's like, I don't want to go there anymore. I want to stay away, right?
Exactly.
You want to see the little pieces and pockets here in San Diego that not a lot of people see. So, so speaking of that, you guys are kind of in a pocket here in San Diego in Golden Hill, right?
Yes.
I don't think a lot of people frequent the area, but tell us about how you started the coffee shop. Let's start with that story.
It's Marissa's turn.
My turn.
Okay.
So I guess it all began with a passion, love for coffee. We were gifted a teardrop trailer about 6 plus years ago. 5, 6?
5 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So it was a wedding gift, and we had the idea of like, how neat, how cool would it be to start a coffee business from the trailer?
Okay.
But I was like, yeah, whatever. Like it, it's just way
Whatever.
down the line.
Yeah.
I wasn't worried about it. So then fast forward, we moved to San Diego. Evan's like, you know what? Let's just start it. And I'm like,
Wait, so the teardrop
so
happened
scary.
because you guys wanted to make a coffee trailer out of it, or because that's a different wedding gift? Who gets who gets that, right?
So I guess there's more to it. So like, we had the idea for over like 6 years that we wanted to start a little coffee business out of a teardrop. So we were gifted a home-built, like, kind of like stripped down, needed a lot of love, teardrop trailer from our parents who knew like that we initially, like eventually wanted to do it. So they gifted it to us with the eventual goal of like, they're like, hey, because you want to do your coffee thing out of it. So we were like super stoked. But then we never really, we just like, we built it out for like camping and we did that because we were just like, it's still like, you always feel like you want to be like overly prepared to like do it because it's like really daunting to start a new business.
Right. Very much so. And I think even hearing that your parents support you, that's just awesome in the first place, right?
We're
Because a lot of
grateful.
parents growing up, they want you to do like a career corporate position, which you guys had before also.
Yes,
But then
exactly.
say, hey, you like they pretty much inspired or believed in your dream.
For sure.
So it's cool 6 years later, you guys are actually here doing it.
Well,
Yeah.
it's you know that the thing that like, because that's the thing like you said about the corporations and all is that like, it's hard to like leave that like the consistency,
Stable.
the stability of like working for like a corporate and being like, okay, well, I have health benefits and everything.
Right.
To being like, I'm gonna go sell coffee to the community on the
I don't know what's
corner.
gonna happen.
Yeah,
Right,
exactly. There's
right.
like something kind of like daunting about that.
Yeah.
But it was also like thrilling to be able to like take ownership in something that we believe in, and something like kind of like we saw it as like starting just like a new season in our lives where we invest in ourselves.
Love
People
that.
look at it as like a risk. They're like, oh my God, you're taking a risk. Like you're going to from something that's kind of like
Stable, all this stuff.
makes money, you know, and then to like
Zero in a sense,
exactly,
right?
to being a professional volunteer for your own business.
Professional
you know.
volunteer? Yeah, I
Yeah.
love that.
Exactly.
That's so
So-
funny.
That's
Okay.
But we're like so grateful because like we just did it, and like the community of Golden Hill that we live in has just been so supportive to like
that's so
make
awesome.
our dream like really come to fruition
Yeah.
and be a reality.
That's awesome. And so when you guys first started though, you weren't at this location, right? Where were you at before?
No, we were a couple blocks away. We're on 30th now. We were over, around 28th Street, and we were close to a Starbucks,
Yeah,
which
right
was a
across the
little
street.
challenging. We built a following around us, but it was a little challenging over the course of time to be like across from a Starbucks, being a little teardrop trailer
Right.
selling coffee. So it kind of there was only so much we could grow within that format, you know. So then we got another spot over here. We asked the barbershop if we could rent a parking spot from them because we were a little bit further away, but still walking distance for all of our regulars that we had created.
Oh, nice.
And then they offered us a space inside for a shop, and we were like, "What the?"
How did
Looking for
this
a new
happen,
spot,
right?
and
Yeah.
then got the unit for the brick and mortar. He was like, "Yeah, it used to be a ice cream shop." He's like, "Do you want to build it up?"
Wow.
So.
Well, how did
crazy.
you meet the barbershop in the first place? How did you know that you just randomly saw this spot?
Yeah,
and,
so it's walking distance to us. So we had seen that they had a big parking lot and they weren't using a lot of the parking lot all the time. So we're like, hey, is there any way we can rent a spot from you?
Right.
Because it's also like, and it's good traffic on this corner as
Yeah.
well, right off the freeway. And then the owner was like, yeah, sure, I'll monetize a parking spot that
Why
I
not?
wasn't monetizing before.
Yeah.
And then offered us the spot inside
Okay.
that was being
That
not
happened at the same time?
utilizing. Yes.
Oh, okay,
He was
okay.
so we were asking about the spot, and
Yeah.
then we were presented the spot inside the
Yeah.
unit inside, and we were like, holy cows, just a wild adventure.
Right. That's awesome. That's a cool story because I mean, you think you're just gonna have a parking spot, right? But now you have your own brick and mortar. What
Right.
happened to the coffee trailer?
So the teardrop, we still have it. It's parked in our commissary.
Okay.
We want to find a spot to set it up. Maybe North Park. Still thinking about it.
Okay.
For that to happen, we would need some extra hands. So right now it's just the two of us. So.
Yeah. And for
Yeah.
what? Because you started end of 2022, correct? Is that when you
Correct.
started?
December of 2022.
Wow.
Entirely.
Yeah.
From nothing.
From
just,
nothing.
just like we just showed up in a parking lot on a Saturday in
That's
beginning
so
of
cool.
December.
See, people would like it.
Was it like Christmas time in December?
It was
When
December 3rd.
December 3rd. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And how when you first opened? Tell me about the first day you guys opened. Like, what did you guys expect? What exactly happened on that day?
Ooh, I was so nervous.
Yeah.
I didn't know what to expect because, it was our first time starting the whole business, selling coffee. And I think I had no expectations, but I was just nervous.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, you know what? If people like it, they like it. And if they don't, then oh well, But I was hoping that they would enjoy it. And so I was very optimistic and knew what we put out would be great.
It was kind of like the reason we started mobile is because we're like, let's see if people even care about the products that we have to put out, and let's see if we even like putting out these products is
Really?
another thing,
Yeah.
because we've never had a specialty or run a specialty coffee shop or anything.
Yeah.
So we're like, let's see if we even care about the workflow and doing and we kind of expected we would enjoy it, and we very much so enjoy it. We just love being like in tune with the community, and the community has just received it so well.
Great. Yeah.
And then we did well. Within 3 days, we had customers coming every single day.
Wow.
So it was just kind of like wildly validating and like a proof of concept.
Yeah. How did you guys what do you call it? How did you guys learn how to make your coffees? How'd that happen?
So we had when we were building our teardrop trailer, we got our like La Marzocco single group espresso machine to get started with that. So we were doing a lot of research and development, kind of like we call it R&D, but it was just us making a ton of coffees at our apartment, just trial and error, and playing around with it, and working on our latte art. And then we right now we're working with Stumptown Coffee Roasters, and they have a great program. So we went to their training facility in LA, and we learned about like all of like the origins of the coffee, the like dialing in, the steaming of milk, all of that.
Yeah.
So like they had such a great training course for us that like kind of gave us a good footing to get started, and then
practice
doing our business
every day,
making thousands of drinks over the course of like, the first month or two. We were just like, this is crazy. We're like, oh, no wonder we've gotten better.
Yeah. Because you do it every day.
We do it.
Yeah.
And we've had thousands of times to practice.
That's so awesome.
Repetition.
And because I think that's a lot of people want to be good at something right away, right? They don't think they have to put in the time to get at something good.
Right.
But as they keep doing it, you get better and better. And like we talked about the latte art, right? Before you know it, you're gonna be making some sweet swans, man. I think it'll be great.
I know. I need to sharpen that skill. That's for damn sure.
It's coming. And I also wanted to talk about the space because you said you learned how to build it out yourselves, right? Because it was a completely empty area, or what happened?
So it used to be an ice cream shop previously, so it had some of like the like raw basics of it, but we had to I built the coffee bar, I did the wood, I did all that, did the electrical in it.
It's very handy.
Did the plumbing for like all that, and then built like our rack, everything. Did the little art installation inside there. So it was like that. That was like, I'm just a jack of all trades, you know what I mean? It's definitely my ADHD that drives me to learn different things and do different things. And once again, going back to like starting a small business, it's very cost prohibitive, so it's very challenging. So it's kind of like, hey, learn how to do it.
Right.
You don't have the money to do, like hire someone, then do it yourself.
That's great, because I think that's a lot of that takes a lot of thought and like, hey, am I going to learn how to do this myself, or I'm going to hire somebody to do it, right?
Right.
Because if you hire someone to do it, it costs so much more and everything now. But especially with like YouTube or anything, like YouTube University, right? You can literally learn how to do anything online and then do it yourself, right? Yeah. Were there any mistakes that you made while you were building it out? Anything happen?
Mistakes? I'm not sure if there's any mistakes. Just maybe some frustrations.
Okay.
Frustrations. We like we would be outside. So we were outside. So like during the day, because it's still the two of us, we would be running the coffee drop on the corner here.
Oh, you would? Okay.
Yeah, we'd be running the coffee drop.
Wow.
And at night,
Hours.
we would be over here drilling, screwing, cutting, doing all this stuff, working away at it.
Yeah.
And like we would have some of our regulars outside there. They'd be like, oh, I saw contractors working inside overnight at like 11 p.m. last night. And I was like,
that was me.
That was us.
I put on a hard hat just so you know.
We are the contractors.
Wow.
It was us.
That's
and
awesome.
But it is that kind of like scrappiness that is needed to be a small business. I mean, and it's also, I would argue, a level of naivety is also needed. Because it's like that, like not knowing entirely everything you're getting into, you just got to give yourself a kick in the pants and just start doing something and just like bite off a little bit at a time. And then next thing you know, you're doing it. Because I feel like that's one of the things is like, if my past self knew all the hurdles I would have to overcome and how challenging it was, it kind of may have been a non-starter.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Wow. Yeah.
Whereas like the naivety and the excitement over like what we were looking to do in the end, just kind of like, you're like so far in this, you're like had so many like stressful nights of doing it, and you're like, but we've come this far. You know what I mean?
You can't go back now.
I can't go back because I'm like halfway.
Right.
I'm like halfway in, halfway out. You know, I'm just like, I'm like, you either go forward or you go backwards. Either way, it's the same distance at that point. You know?
And this is the whole thing with risk, right? A lot of people are afraid to take the risk of jumping in and doing something brand new, had no idea what you're going to do. But the fact that you guys took it to the next level, you're like, I can't go back anymore, so I got to go all the way, is I think a commitment that a lot of people don't have. And that it's great that you guys have that and you're able to do this because this is a dream, right? It started as a dream. You guys never thought you'd be driving down the street, you could see your own coffee shop. That's awesome.
I mean, you saying that is exactly a sentiment that we have, that we're just like, it's great. Like,
it's wild. I have no words. Yeah. Like, I never imagined it within the short amount of time as well. Because we just started from the trailer now to the brick and mortar.
Yeah.
Everything has progressed so fast. I'm just very grateful.
And there's things like, there's days where we're like, literally, we'll just stop what we're doing. We're like, we have a coffee shop. That's like our coffee shop right there. Like, we drive by like on like a time where we're closed. It's like, well, that's a cool coffee shop. Yeah, well, I like that place.
Yeah, yeah.
We built that.
Right.
It's just like it's very rewarding. It feels like to have really like manifested and like brought something to fruition.
Right.
We're incredibly grateful, and we literally could not have done it without the community of Golden Hill coming around us.
Awesome to Golden Hill right now. Let's talk about the drinks a little bit because you guys have different drinks here. Not exactly. You have your signature drinks that I think a lot will make you really stand out amongst other coffee shops. So what are some what are your signature drinks? What do you offer here?
So, firstly, I think a really important detail to share is we are
non-dairy based.
Okay.
So we primarily use oat.
Yes.
Oat milk.
And lactose intolerant people will love you. Go ahead. Yes.
And I'm actually, excuse me, millennials and Gen Zers, full stop, will love us. It's just the way.
Is that why I vibe? I mean, this is great. I love it. Yeah.
So it's like, so we do oat or almond as well.
Okay.
But our signature and most popular drink that we had made, we were just like inspired before we started our business, and we created a drink and we called it, only because we had no room on our original menu to write. And we were like, brown sugar, orange, so we only had a few letters on the little like pegboard. And then, so we named it. We were like, let's just say OBSL, and it became our Orange Brown Sugar Latte.
Wow.
So we make a brown sugar simple syrup with fresh squeezed navel orange.
Yeah.
Not super intense. It's just like a nice light citrus flavor. And it's just like supposed to be like a nicely balanced drink. And it's where the roast we're using right now from Stumptown Coffee Roasters, it's the Hairbender blend. So it's got nice citrus notes in it.
Okay.
So the orange just brings out those natural citrus notes inside the coffee. So the Orange Brown Sugar Latte, and then Marissa will tell you about this drink that I'm currently drinking.
This one right here is called an Espresso Tonic. So it's going to be a double shot of espresso, fever tree tonic water, and then we finish it with a citrus rind on top. It's floated a little bit, but very delicious.
I love how you guys make that drink. It was so cool because I've never seen anything like it, right? You usually see people peeling an orange or whatever and doing that when you get a cocktail, not a coffee. So that's really cool.
It's a little twist.
It's it's one of our more popular drinks for sure. It's a very coffee-forward, very refreshing coffee-forward beverage. And a lot of our customers that have never tried it and try the Espresso Tonic from us for the first time or have had it other places and they love ours, the people that have had it for the first time, like, I don't know what I'm supposed to think about this because I don't know if I'm drinking like a cocktail or coffee. Like, my brain is confused, but I love it. And then another drink that we a lot of our customers love is our Mexican mocha as well. And that one's very popular, hot or ice and everything.
Is there a special way you make it? Or is it just like a classic Mexican mocha?
I guess one special thing that we throw into it is our cane sugar.
Cane sugar vanilla bean syrup that we make.
Yeah, we make cane sugar simple syrup with fresh vanilla bean, and that's infused into the Mexican mocha. It just gives it that nice, like, kind of like vanilla sweetness to it as well.
Okay. Is there, can you guys taste the difference between the beans? Coffee beans?
Yes.
You can. Okay, because for me, right, I drink coffee every day, but I'm always just like the regular, whatever, medium roast, nothing like that. But people are like, yeah, it has notes of vanilla, chocolate, all this stuff. I try it, I'm like, it just tastes like coffee to me. Like, what are we looking for when we're trying to taste the bean? How do you guys find those flavors?
So, I mean, the first thing that comes at the beginning outside of the actual roasting process is realizing that the extraction method and getting the appropriate grind size. So we call that in the coffee world is dialing in the coffee.
Okay.
So whether and this could be for any extraction method, whether it's French press, pour over, whether it's even cold brew or espresso, it's getting your grind size and your recipe appropriate, like the amount of water that you're infusing and the amount of yield. So the dose that you're using in the grind and all of that. So it's respecting the coffee as a science. And when you respect that side, you start realizing that if you change any of those variables, you will find that the end result, you'll be tasting it and be like, so on like a given day, depending on the days off of roast from certain beans that we're using, we'll be like, wow, today I'm getting like very like hazelnutty. And like sometimes like you don't even have to, like sometimes maybe it's also because like we are very big on like food and everything. So like we're like and smells and I am an Italian, half Italian gentleman. So you get a nice, sense of smell. And with that being said, I can smell and I like the sensitivities of that like really makes you like keen. And I feel like maybe it's that I know like I can smell it a little more sensitive. But like even when like brewing like or pulling a shot of espresso, I could be like, wow, this one like, I'm smelling I'm smelling real sweet notes right now. And like it smells like I'm like this is not even like a flavored coffee, so to speak. Which is different. So like if you go and you purchase beans from the store and it's like this is a French vanilla something or other, or when it's flavored coffee, that's different than flavor notes. So flavored coffee is using beans and they have essential oils essentially that are making the flavors to them. So it's added to coffee beans. So they're adding some oils to the coffee to give it artificial French vanilla flavors or something. Whereas opposed to when you have flavor notes, you're working off of the profile of the actual beans, where the beans come from, the green beans, and also how they are roasted to show certain profiles, like, I'm tasting papaya, I'm getting a little bit of stone fruit, or guayaba, or something on the warmer tones like dark chocolate, graham cracker.
I'm hungry now.
Yeah, I know. It makes me want to eat right now. With that, do you guys also do seasonal drinks here? Have you done seasonal drinks? I know it's brand new, so.
As of right now, we don't do any like seasonal drinks. One of the biggest things that Marissa and I like pride ourselves in here, because we are a small business, we only have so much stock we can do, is we pride ourselves in just only making and carrying things that we like. Because it's kind of hard. So like, one thing I know this is people get sad about this, and I understand it. But we don't serve matcha nor chai.
Oh my gosh.
I know. I said it. It's sacrilege.
I know.
So we don't serve the matcha nor chai. But that's because those things are something that are very particular in the way they are prepared and serving them. And there's a lot of nuances to what kind of matcha and what kind of chai. And if we don't partake in it, like personally, we don't drink those beverages, it's hard for us to be like, here, drink this. This is the best matcha, people say. It's hard. It's like hard to be able to like best represent the product if I don't like partake in it.
Gotcha.
So that's why everything that we make, we drink and we eat.
Are you going to carry it eventually or no?
I don't believe so. I think an ethos that we carry is that like if we like something, if we drink it, if we eat it, we'll partake. So like passing the season, a big question was pumpkin spice latte.
Yeah, of course.
Which
I'm basic. I love it.
We didn't pumpkin spice it up. I know it's sacrilege when people hear that.
Yeah. People get mad.
We might have some seasonal drinks. It all depends in the future. Like some maple syrup lattes and things like that. We're working on something possibly with banana.
Ooh.
So, I mean,
I like that.
I said possibly. Don't
get my hopes up here.
So, and then like some, we're working on some date drinks.
Date drinks?
Date syrup.
Like the,
Date
okay.
syrup,
I thought you go on a date, you have the syrup, that's
I mean, that's kind of a name we've toyed with would be a date me latte.
Ooh, all right. Right?
I don't know.
There we go.
I don't know.
Love the puns.
Coming up
Love
in
the
the
puns.
I don't know. We lean into the puns here at the coffee drop.
That's awesome. So for anybody who really wants to start something like this, you know, we're taking it back to the business side, what are like some tips you would get, or like maybe your top 3 tips you would give to someone that really wants to start something, waited on it for 6 years, and then they finally were about to or they wanted to? Like, what are some tips you guys would give?
Top 3. One tip I'd give is don't be afraid to start. Now is fine. Like now, start. Ask questions. I don't know if you want to elaborate.
I'd say like do it. It like I know that sounds kind of cliche. It's very Shia LaBeouf of me. Do it, but it's like I know personally. I get into an analysis paralysis of like, oh my God, but what about that? And it's
Right.
like, you know what? If you have the means to, obviously, financially, it's challenging to just say to do it. But if you can find a way to sneak it into your life and be like, oh, I'm going to work on it for these amount of hours. It's just doing it.
Right.
Peeling the Band-Aid and just like
Wow.
starting one process of it. If it's open your LLC or it's like ask people. We would just go to business and we'd be like, hey, I have a couple questions. And like just pick the brain
Ask
of
questions.
people.
Awesome. Yeah.
Small Business Development Center
Okay.
has been such a great resource to us.
Is that a website?
Small Business Development Center is
Really?
actually a community available. It's a grant run program, the
Oh.
SBDC.
Okay.
The San Diego SBDC has been really great and very helpful to
Wow.
us.
Okay.
Shout out to Wesley Quach.
Hey.
And yeah, so he's our advisor. And it's just like sometimes they are the people there. It's kind of essentially it's a program. It's grant run, so it's not out of pocket, and you just go and like whatever kind of business they have someone who would like specialize in the industry at
Okay,
least, like
okay.
a particular. So Wesley works in the food side of things, so like he
Wow.
just helps. Like it's kind of like you can pick his brain, and it's like having a consultant
Okay.
at your fingertips. It's essentially you go to them and they give you just a bunch of homework, so it still pushes it
Still
back
do
on
work,
you, but
right.
at least they kind of guide you in the right directions.
Wow.
And it's been such a great resource to us, and
Okay.
we're very grateful for that. But also, all the other small businesses and local businesses, we pick their brains and we're like, hey, this is something we want to do. And everybody has been so supportive in like
That's
helping us
awesome.
like kind of
Some
bring
words
this
of advice and,
to fruition.
Right.
information, just like the SBDC.
Yeah.
Different programs,
Yeah,
different
yeah.
things to check out. So lots of resources.
Okay. I
Yeah.
didn't even know that existed, so that's really cool.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
it's
a big
available.
resource. Yeah.
Small Business Development Center.
There
They
we
have
go.
them in a community near you.
Okay, I love that. So I don't know if I missed the third. You said the first one, that was ask for help, right? That was one of them.
Yes.
And then
And then it was just do.
Just do?
Start,
Yeah.
start
Yeah.
at least one element to
Gotcha,
it and just
gotcha.
keep going one element at a time.
okay.
And
Other one,
then,
number 3.
And then the last one would be obviously I guess this relies on your the industry, but it's just realizing that depending on the industry, don't overthink, and the bar is very low in a lot of different industries and stuff. And everybody doesn't know what they're doing these days. It
Nobody.
doesn't matter where it is. Everybody. So just as
So
like
true.
daunted as
Yeah.
you are, everybody else in that industry is as well. You know what I mean? And it's don't be dissuaded by like by a lot of like
Negative factors.
things, or like you know
Yeah.
you hear a lot of things in media. They're like oh, we're going into a recession or whatever it is.
Yeah.
It's always gonna be a bad time. You know what I mean? You hear a lot about the negativity, but the way we see it is like the best time is now because you should have started it before.
So
you know what I
yesterday,
mean?
right?
It's like
Yeah.
and the way I finally to give us the kick in the pants was I was like, every day that we are doing it, we are holding off on a part of the success that
Right.
we potentially could have.
Yeah.
So you can see it's an opportunity cost. So every day
Right.
that you're putzing around working for some corporation or not doing what you enjoy
You really
doing,
want to do, yeah.
you're the one who loses out in it.
Right. So basically, start and don't let things stop you from starting.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And with you guys thinking about this for 6 years, you have a lot of experience in knowing that, hey,
yeah.
we just got to get started. We just got to get started,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and like because we have a checklist of things that we need to do before we start our business.
There's still
And guess
on
what?
there, I think.
There's still some things on the checklist that we
not
haven't
done
done. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's realizing. I think that's another thing. Maybe that was
Number four. Okay, number four.
Or maybe
That's
it's 4, or maybe it's 3A.
Blended, 3.5.
3A. Yeah. So is that don't. It doesn't have to be perfect from day one.
Right.
It does not have to be perfect from day one. And it's just as long as you believe in what you are doing and what you're putting out, it will follow. The rest will follow.
Love that. Love that. So, like, let's recap again so everyone can hear it, right? Now I'm going backwards because now that one was
Okay, 3A.
3A.
Yeah.
3A. I want to go back to 3 because I remember that one.
Yeah.
Like you talk about analysis paralysis, right?
Yeah.
You just got to keep doing it and you just got to start and do it, right?
Yeah.
And then the other one, remind me, keep going. 3A, 3.5.
3A was
Not letting the negative factors and outside.
no, that was 2.
I think that was 1.
That was 1.
It doesn't matter. We just got to recap.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
And then it was Just Do It. I
Yeah.
think that was 1 or 2.
Yeah, because you said Shia LaBeouf, just do
Shia-
it. Yeah.
Do it. And then the other one was
The San Diego SBDC.
Leaning on others and
Research.
asking.
Yeah. The resources that you have. Okay, very
Yeah.
cool.
Utilizing resources around you.
Yeah.
Because they are here.
They're here for you.
We are. We're a resource.
You guys come in, get some
we have,
coffee.
We have people
Ask questions.
like
Ask questions.
all the time. We have people that are like, "Oh my God, this is so cool! I'd love
Right.
to start." Like we've always dreamed about
XYZ
starting a coffee business.
Yeah.
I was like,
Come and talk.
"Do it."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Do
because I
it.
think a lot of people are afraid of rejection, first of all, right? They're afraid if they come in. And if let's say if I come in and I want to talk to you about coffee, you guys have a coffee shop. So in my head, I'm going to be your competition. You guys don't want to help me. Yeah. Well, that's one thing. That's one thing I
Yeah.
want to tackle because people think that when other people are in the same industry and stuff as you, you're competition. Essentially, you are, but everyone can get their own, right?
There's
you guys
enough
be successful.
room for
Yeah.
all of us.
Literally.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
Unless you're like opening it directly
Right
across the street of
Yeah,
us,
yeah,
like
yeah.
that's like.
I'm going to open my own coffee
There's,
trailer in the
there's
parking
like
lot.
some like there is some mild shade in that,
Right,
but
right,
like
right.
you know what we each serve our own community. Hence the reason why like we're very successfully here and we're
here.
grateful for it, even though there are other coffee businesses here, albeit very corporate coffee businesses that are like walking distance to us. So, but it's that like whenever people ask us, we're totally like we're game
open
because there's no
book, so-
like
That's
you know what.
awesome.
We don't like to.
It helps the whole community
Yeah.
out by us not gatekeeping information
Right.
and everything. And there is nothing good to come of this, like, I can't help you because, you know, it was like, because how did they get where they got?
Right.
Everybody got some sort of help some way. No one just started and was like
Right.
in a silo of their own thoughts. It was
Yeah.
like, no, everybody used some sort of resource.
Right.
And realizing that we have all this knowledge of going to the health department, working through all these challenging things.
Yeah.
What's the point of it rattling in my brain for no reason? Why
Right.
don't I help others? Like I'm just like, hey, I got like tips and
Love
tricks
that.
that can help you.
Yeah.
I was like, why not help the community?
Right. Because we're all here to help each other, right? Everybody can
Yes.
succeed. And there's, like you said, there's enough for everybody.
And we're
out
all
there.
small business. Like
Right.
that's another thing is it doesn't hurt having another small business out
Right,
there and
right.
not some corporation, you know, not some giant restaurant group. It's like just small businesses of people that
Yeah.
want to do something and they do it, you know? So like it doesn't hurt us because like I think, I mean, if I was getting a little more philosophical here, is that like it's always great like when like us like when people support small businesses
Right.
and when small businesses support each other because that's what makes us all stronger and that's what helps us succeed
Yeah.
versus bigger corporations and billionaires. So
A rising tide raises all ships, you know? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Yes.
if we're all here to support each other, we can all succeed at the same time.
exactly.
Yeah. We can.
Well, on that note, can you tell everybody where they can find you, your Instagram, how do they can order all that stuff, the good stuff? How do
Yeah,
they do
so
that?
you can find us at 2991 Broadway, Golden Hill.
Okay.
So 30th and Broadway. Our Instagram is Coffee Drop SD. You know, come get a delicious coffee. I'm drinking an iced Americano right now.
I'm drinking an Espresso Tonic.
What was this one?
That's the hot Orange Brown Sugar Latte,
Yeah.
hot OBSL.
It's delicious.
Signature.
I love it. It's actually really, really good. So
with oat milk reminder.
yes, only non-dairy here. Only
Non-dairy
non-dairy. Yeah.
based.
Oh, and one more question. Where's your guys' favorite place to eat? in San Diego?
Oh, I know it. Cesadina. It's Italian.
Ah.
Right in Liberty. Point Loma.
Point Loma.
Sorry.
Point
What do you
Loma.
love about it? Why?
We're going back to the small business thing.
Okay.
Evan knows more of the back.
Yeah,
What?
it's primarily a couple. Cesarina Massoni, she's from Rome, and she's a minority, and she started her own first she sold vegan pastas.
Okay.
At the farmers markets, and now they have a lovely Italian restaurant, one of our favorite Italian
So
restaurants in San Diego, and it's a millennial run,
Business?
business. So like that's another thing is
Everyone
being able to
Love
like also
that.
prop up other
Other-
like millennials and Gen Zers because it's challenging. You know, it's challenging that like, we don't have the type of capital and situations as
Right.
our older generations did.
Not yet. One day.
Not yet. Sheesh.
One day.
Cheers to
All
that,
right,
guys.
cheers, guys. Well,
Cheers.
thank you again. Appreciate you
Appreciate
guys'
it.
time. Thank you guys for watching. And most of all, don't forget, be marvelous. Cheers one more time. Cheers one more time. There we go. Oops.
Whoa.
Whoa there. Thanks, guys.